Hi. It has been some time that I haven't shared any videos with you. We were with a family in a holiday, and it takes around 2 weeks to 3 weeks for us. Therefore, just I pause for some shooting some videos. But recently we are back, and I decide to also make some videos, especially with the hot topics such as Iran conflicts with US, Turkey's S-400s, and other things. But I would like to start with Hormuz Strait at first. I have given some thoughts while I was in the holiday with the family, and I studied on this a little bit more as a Turk, and what might be an advantage position that it provides to Turkey. So let's start with Hormuz. So what it provides for Turkey and Turkey's future, how we can contribute to global peace. So let's start. Now, Hormuz Strait, as you know, England and US Navy have detained an Iranian tanker, and sometime later the Iranian detained a UK tanker. So I believe it was something that the US administration had failed to recognize the region and also the intention of Iran. Compared with the UK, I will say influence on the region, or especially the Hormuz Strait, between 1820s to 1970s. And now compared with the US, there are some differences I can see. The UK at that time had the assets, especially to have the intelligence about strait security in terms of the country's security or the administration and the events that's taking place and the people's minds and the hearts, and they can see and they can hear and they can analyze everything else. The US administration, especially since 2010, they are trying to be getting out of the region, and this is because they are becoming self-sufficient in energy, especially during 2010s. They had the urge of 18 to 20 million barrels per day. 11 they were producing, 7, 8, 10 they were buying. As of today, it's almost 1 to 1. So they are not buying that much, or if not, they are not buying at all, and they produce almost what they want due to the shale gas. Now, since this is a topic, the people's heart and minds in US, the Americans are now considering that they should get out of the region. However, not only Trump administration but any administration cannot do this easily because of some concerns. First of all, Iran's nuclear ability. Unless they have a deal or somehow it has been balanced, they cannot get out of the region easily, because Iran has also a hostile approach to Saudis, while having also nuclear capability in their hands. It becomes a very much dangerous rival or enemy to Saudis. That's why the US have recently reluctantly give some, I would say, nuclear energy transfer or technological I will say advancement to Saudis in order to develop their own capacity to some level at least. Having said that, the second one is the Hormuz Strait's economic importance. The 20% of the global supply, including the 90% of the regional energy supply, has been sustained via this Hormuz Strait. That's why it's in terms of economy and stability of the region. The Hormuz Strait already has a strong, very much heavy weight. Now, the third one is, I will say, the investments that the US had done or had already invested in the region. They have invested in the military navy or the air bases in and around the region, and for any administration, and not only Trump administration, it becomes a little bit costly to leave the region. Now, we have compared already what the UK has done in between 1820 to 1970s with the assets. It was much more whenever compared 70 to up until now. The US administration influence in the region. US administration had used more, I will say, a hard fist in order to sustain this this regional peace. 87 to 88, US have intervened to protect the Kuwaitis tankers, even sank the Iranian ship and some boats around. That's why Iranian have become to the point that, okay, the Navy is not very much strong against the US Navy. That's why we are going to use the speedy boats in order to somehow reach their goals. That's why they have now investing on these boats, the speedy boats. But the US, what I have seen as a difference between what the US Navy founded or based on, and in line with the Carter Doctrine for the region and the US interest, is now not being pursued by the US at the moment, and not only by the way Trump administration but also Obama administration. Now in 1870s, a US Navy officer and a historian, Mahon, have established the foundation of the US Navy and its economic and related with these economic activities. So Officer Mahon at that time have investigated the Queen's Navy, the UK Navy at that time, how they react not only with the security but also with the economic aspects of the country in relation with where they have been existing, not only by the way in the Atlantic, but also in I will say globally, and Hormuz Strait too. So then he had founded the U.S. Navy, that the U.S. Navy should protect the U.S. economic or trade navy, or the business capability, in order to protect its own interest around the U.S. But now we know that the U.S. is the global power and only unique power, I will say. And even China doesn't have this navy capability. U.S. is the only alone, I will say, patron in all the oceans and seas. And they should have protected the Mahon's, I would say, foundation or approach when the Iranian have attacked the tankers almost a month ago in around Hormuz Strait, because it was the foundation or the doctrine that they should be following. Even the Carter Doctrine is based on that it allows the U.S. Navy to interact with any kind of aggression if happens in order to protect the U.S. interest. But now this is not being followed by the U.S., not only by the way Trump administration, but we can see it also in the Obama administration, and before that the Obama administration with the Clinton administration. This is not strongly being followed. And that's why the Iranian now, after the UK and US detained the Iranian tanker, they find it really no concern to detain one of their ship, which is they choose to detain the UK ship. Because today the US interest as a global patron or a boss is to secure the global peace through the economic activities, which means that the Hormuz Strait, I would say, approach or security should be also protected and well protected, and for that it means the U.S. interest. So at that time when the Iranian attacked the U.S. The Korean, the South Korean, if I'm not wrong, or Norwegian also tankers, they should have responded accordingly, but they let it go somehow, And now this we are here today that the Iranians have detained a UK tanker. Now that means that now there is a big debate or a big problem between UK, US, Saudi versus Iranians, and the security of the Hormuz Strait should be protected and well protected, including the nuclear agreement. There is a big problem between Americans and Iranians. That means that you need, if not perfect, but at least somehow a third player in order to help the American and the Iranians to establish a safe passages for the tankers in order to pursue the economic interests and also global peace in the region also. That's why, as a Turk, I was thinking that it allows Turkey to sustain such approach, and it will be benefits to Turkey not only because of its power to increase its influence in the region, but also it will allow the economic activities to increase. It will allow the Turkish companies to have the technology transfer where this oil or gas and also the global supply goes to, and especially I am referring to South Korea, Japan, and even to some extent to China. And that's why I believe that Turkey or the Turkish Navy should consider to reconsider, let's say, its existence in the Gulf region, which is now in Qatar. We have a land and also a navy base with almost 1,000 people or 1,100 people over there. But we should start using our navy in order to help the regional peace that will ultimately raise the Turkish influence in the region and also global arena. Is it possible? I do. It is possible. I do the fact that it's possible. Also, it's benefits for the Americans and also the global because it will allow us not to move or lean to Russian side. As now we have purchased the S-400. Americans consider that maybe Turkey is changing or going for another path. So it will ensure that we are staying in the democratic way or in the international arena, and Turkey can be really attributing some security measures in the region. We do understand the people. We are also Muslim. Iran trusts us. We should be working on establish some kind of better relations with also Egyptians and Saudis, with Oman. And we could really help the area to become much more safer. So US and Turkey, I believe, should consider together in order to establish or set up a force on Persian Gulf or the Hormuz Strait in order to set up I would say security measurements in order to allow the economic activities to proceed as it was before, and that will give Turkey a very nice room to increase its influence, also to establish some kind of influence and also to access some kind of technological transfers from the actors where the supply goes to as an end point, which most likely I will refer it to South Korea, Japan, and also China. That's why it's important for Turkey, I believe, to start considering this approach, and I think it's a very good approach, and also it will make Turkey stay in the international area, not much more leaning to Russian side, but work with the international area with especially Americans and also Europeans. That's all, and thank you for watching the video. There is a like button underneath. If you like it, please, I will appreciate if you just press on it, and I will be happy if you would like to be a member to our YouTube channel, so you can be informed as soon as we put or publish a new video in our channel. Thank you for watching us, and see you next time. Have a nice day. Bye.